Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I am your host, June Archer. This is the Winner Circle. My guest today, a great friend of mine. This young man and I have been rocking for probably over 20 years. He's been on the show before. We've promoted books, we promoted his movement, and he is back again. We're talking about The Savage Matrix is the new book. And this book, ladies and gentlemen, is about discovering your inner savage. Are you a pimp? Are you a stripper? Are you a pit bull? Are you a hustler? And one of the greatest revelations in life is that there's a dark side to greatness, and you got to walk through darkness for others to see the light that you are destined to become. So, as you're on this fierce path of enlightenment, you must answer a critical question: who are you? And the answer, we're going to dive into it and we're going to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, author, MC, and entrepreneur Marcellus Womack, aka Supercell. What up, bro?
Oh man, you got my former life, man, from over decades, man, beyond. But man, pleasure to be here with you, June, man. You're ultimate big bro, man. You're ultimate mogul, man, and it's a pleasure, man, to chop it up with you on this savage matrix, man. Really get into the savage matrix, man, and get it jumping.
Now, you've been working on this quietly, and we had a conversation the other day, like, big bro, got this new project launching. Can we make some magic happen? And we're here. And I got an opportunity to dibble and dabble, take a look at this amazing project, what I think is really, really dope, the Savage Matrix. And from the jump, I gotta say, I was inspired by, and I'm gonna let you introduce who this person is, but semi-automatic from the jump sets the tone for the Savage Matrix and what this is about. And I don't want people to get this misconstrued. It's not about hustlers. It's not about pimps. It's not about strippers or pit bulls. It's about the mentality behind the acronyms of these titles. So give me the inspiration behind the Savage Matrix.
Yeah, June, and one time for semi-automatic, that's my son. So I have an electrifying intro. It starts off with him, and I shared a quote that kicks it off. But he was in a basketball game, and the quote is, "Get that SHIT out of here." And that's how we kick off the Savage Matrix. That's my son on the basketball court doing his thing. He's currently in college, balling with BCU, Bethune-Cookman University. He's had several semesters in a row with straight A's, so he's got leadership, positions there. He's president of the student athlete advisory committee. He travels around. He wins stock investment competitions. He's doing his thing. He's a savage. He's one of those archetypes. So he was one of my first prototypes to testing this out. So shout out to Simeon, semi-automatic. That's my son. Love him. But the Savage Matrix. So June, my favorite question that I ask special people is, if you had all the power in the world, what's the one thing you would do? And June, I've gotten amazing answers to that. Brother told me he would eradicate racism. There was a young girl told me she would eliminate world hunger. One lady said she would get out a love vaccine to make love as contagious for people to spread to each other as COVID was and during the pandemic. And I've even had someone say, I bring my mother back to life. Just some deep answers. A lot of things regarding their biggest dreams, biggest aspirations. And that question is my reverse way of really asking someone, what's your super goal in life? What is your ultimate dream? What's your ultimate moonshot? Your grandest version of your greatest vision with no limits? I get that immediately with that question. But the follow-up question that the universe would ask to that is, well, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? And man, June, I've discovered, just in life, I'm currently, I run a brand strategy agency. It's called 1% brand agency. And I work with dynamic entrepreneurs. I work with some of the best companies, in the world. And I see I love the greats. I'm from Chicago, so I'm a student of Michael Jordan.
Absolutely.
Man, every move he did, I tried to do. I didn't get 6'6" like a Kobe to perfect a lot of that, but man, I love the greats in hip hop, sports, business, and we all have the same problem. There's a concept of oneness that is so deep that I think it is the cornerstone of spirituality and the cornerstone of our existence. We are really one, but we got one problem. June, your problem, my problem, Barack Obama, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Michelle Obama, Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, we all got the same problem. And that's I want something and something's in the way.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's it.
50 got that,
Everybody
50 got that problem too.
50 for sure has that problem. And he's learned how to, what we have to do with that, the solution is we have to obliterate what's in the way. And that is not a physical thing. That is oftentimes it's our mindset. It's a limitation that we've bought into. And that's what we have to overcome. That's what we have to obliterate. And that's where the savage journey begins, and normally that's a dark space. So, one of the main themes that I share in the book is there's a dark side to greatness. And, but that's where everything starts. And even the Bible, when he was like, let it be light. Well, what was it before light? What's the prerequisite to light for the Most High? That's
Darkness.
that dark space. The universe is like 95% dark energy or dark matter. You get outside of our planet, which is really, really small in comparison to the entire universe, is dark. But that's where you're able to have light shine when we do see it. And is that dynamic? That's where a baby is for 9 months, isolated before they come into this world. It's a dark place. So I think we have to reimagine like this darkness and begin to embrace it as no, that is the canvas for where I can create anything with no limits. And give me all the smoke that comes with that darkness. So that's the entry to the savage matrix. I define the savage matrix as the limitless realm to your most dominant state of being. And being a savage is what I define as an undeniable force of greatness and gangster. And in this framework, there's 4 archetypes. You are one of them. The person's watching, you are one of them. You are a hustler.
And we're gonna get into it.
You're a hustler. You're a pimp, a stripper, or a pit bull.
Now, how did you come up with these? When you developed this archetype, how did you come up with these different perspectives?
Man, I'm so interested in people. I think humanity is incredible. I think every person I've ever met has had something special about them. And I think that's one of my superpowers. It's being able to see and champion yours. So that's my gift as a brand strategy consultant with clients, that have great, ideas of launching a product and um, captivating the world. I love looking at greatness. So, but I study people and I see different situations that we're in, and I noticed that in this world, in this physical world, we're normally in a competitive situation for either money, power, status, and superstardom and fame falls in status, or results. You can't do much of nothing in this world without one, and normally a combination of all. So, in working with people, I'm gonna be like, man, this person is really wired towards money. they get money in a way. A lot of entrepreneurs are just they get money, they get commerce, they get cash flow, they get all of that. And then there are others. I'm like, man, they know how to assert themselves to put themselves in a position of power. They know people immediately follow them. They're natural born leaders. And I'm like, wow, that's a certain gift. There are other people that got an it factor. You know, they're superstars. It's like you see it. You know, you see it in their talent, you see it in their gravitas, the cachet that they have, and it's like, wow, that's an advantage because everybody does not just show up being it, being him, being her. And then there's some that are like, you can have that money, money's cool, yeah, I want some of that, yeah, power's cool, superstar cool, but I'm here to get results. I'm here to make it happen. Everybody has to have somebody on their team like that, you know, that makes it happen. And I think ultimately you have to tap into all of these for the greater level of success. So what I share, and most well-known people that we know, celebrities, they're kingpins in my eye. And that is mastery of all four of those archetypes. So
I was
even
going
though
to
there's
ask.
a
I was going to ask that. Is there a
Mhm.
way that within this archetype that someone could be multiple things at once? Is that possible, or are they multiple things across the board?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah, that's a
or are
great
there
question.
moments where they are more of one thing than the next?
Man, June, all the above.
Okay.
So yes, we're human beings. We're spiritual beings that are having a human experience. This is something I learned from my home church in Chicago, Christ Universal Temple. So salute to the founder, Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman. Salute to the current minister, who's Reverend Derek Wells, and a guy I call the hardcore metaphysician. His name is Reverend Galen McDowell. So those are two of my brothers, and you know, it's created by founder, who is in the infinite, you know, at this stage in her journey. Um, but yeah, um, there's there's a dominant state that I think we all kind of embody more so than the other, and it's good for us to know that. But in life, you're gonna need money, you're gonna need some power, you're gonna need status, you're gonna need to get results. So I think that's our journey to be able to leverage our kind of dominant um, quality to get the other things that we need. And I think when we see the level of success that we see, you know, in the public, you know, world, and certain celebrity figures, most of them are kingpins.
Mm.
Even, but they do have a dominant trait that I kind of talk about in the book. And it can be somewhat subjective, you know, it's based on just my perspective, but I really look into how they achieve their success and what they leveraged as their dominant savage archetype, but then how they were able to, you know, achieve some of the others.
Do you happen to share any kingpins in the book that readers or those who are watching or listening could take as an example and a blueprint to be able to do what it is that they're doing at a greater level, whether they want to start a business, whether they want to start a nonprofit, write a book, record an album? You know, who are those people? You know, I'm looking in your backdrop and you have the great Muhammad Ali, you have Malcolm X. Do you give examples of any of those who are kingpins that we could follow in the book?
Absolutely. I talk about Malcolm X. I did, and let me share for everyone. So for the savage archetypes, the it's aligned with which one of these goals are you most wired and you most desire to have. So the hustler wants money. They're driven towards money. The pimp, power. The stripper, status, superstardom, fame, attention. The pit bull, hardcore results. And I just break down a certain ideology around each of those. Um, I'm going to give you an example, but I do talk about Malcolm X. I put him in he's definitely a kingpin. I put him in the category of pit bull, him and Martin Luther King. Um, because one of the ultimate principles, one of the ultimate commandments of a pit bull is sacrifice. This man made the ultimate sacrifice. These both of those men made the ultimate sacrifices. Um, Malcolm X gave his entire life, literally, to the liberation of Black people. Same with Martin Luther King. So I reference a powerful book. It's called The Sword and the Shield by Dr. Peniel Joseph. And he talks about how they were pretty much, I talked about this concept of oneness. It's an incredible book where he shares that Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were equals. They were two sides on the same revolutionary coin. One was the sword, which was Malcolm X, and he was looking to acquire Black dignity for all. And then Martin Luther King was the shield to make sure there was Black citizenship and equality and protection from bloodshed. So Malcolm was saying, hey, I'm with it if that's what it takes for us to be respected. And Martin was like, we are going to get these rights, but we're going to try to get it in a way that we protect humanity because it's either non-violence or non-existence. If we all had this mentality that we're going to shoot each other in the head, none of our grandkids are going to be around in the world to experience what life should be. So I do talk about Malcolm a lot in the book. Martin, they're specifically talked about in the Pitbull section. Muhammad Ali as well. He's the only figure that my dad made sure that he was friends with Muhammad Ali, knew him, that allowed me to meet him when I was really young. And Muhammad Ali is the only one that I actually give credit for having two dominant traits. Even though they're kingpins, he was just as much of and any entertainer is normally going to fall in a stripper category. That's an acronym for supernatural, talented rock star, inspiring peak performances, elevating reality. So I'm not talking about none of these. I'm not talking about somebody dancing. I didn't want to get in no trouble. I didn't want no smoke. When I was like, man, this stripper gonna get me in trouble. But it's edgy, and I got to get it there, and it embodies something. But it ain't got nothing to do with dancing for tips and nothing like that. It's about you're a rock star. You got that it factor. Muhammad Ali had that. Man, the way he moved, the way he danced in the ring, his style, his bravado, it's like, wow, he's must-see TV. But what he showed, what's different from most athletes and entertainers, he leaned in and stood for something that was willing to relinquish his belt and his status and his superstardom. 3 years, he could have went to prison, and he was willing to do that for what he stood and believed in, which was also for standing up for Black liberation and freedom. So those are heroes, those are icons. But I will share really quick the kingpin that I lay out everything they did to master every archetype from hustler to pimp, stripper, pit bull, from money to power to status to results is LeBron James. And LeBron, many think I would probably put him in the category of just stripper because he's a rock star. He's talented. He's super fast, super strong, jumps super high. A freak of nature. Yes, he is. So he's in that category, but that's not his dominant. This dude, LeBron, and I've studied him. I read books on him. I've looked at his whole journey, and I was able to look at it as an adult. You know, I'm a little older than LeBron, so I was able to see his evolution and be like, LeBron is a hustler. At 18 years old, when he got into the league and he got his $90 million deal, he had in his mind, I'm going to be the first athlete billionaire. And he set up a pathway that would take almost 20 years to achieve that. But that dude had that vision initially. And he was like, okay, this $90 million contract, I'm going to be set up. Now, I'm going to position some things to be able to make this money turn into generational wealth for centuries, if possible. So he had that mindset. And even the way he plays basketball, I put Magic Johnson in the hustler category too, but even where they play, he's all over the place. Like a hustler is, man, I got to do some real estate. I got to, launch this fashion line. I got to drop this media platform. I got to do all the things that a June can do. you're very special. Before this conversation ends, I definitely want to talk about you and or where you fit in there. But LeBron was able to mastermind all these things, and it was around, hey, I'm looking to get $1 billion. I'm looking to leverage every single dollar that can be made off my talent. So he has a hustler mindset. And the way he plays basketball, man, I'm a dribble, I'm a rebound, I'm a cover all of these different things on the court. I'm a man chase down shot. He's all over the place. That's a hustler. He's learning the other team's plays, reading their defense. Like his mind is all over the place. So that's his marketplace, and he dominates all over it. But his power as a pimp and as a leader, and PIMP is an acronym for pioneering, innovator, masterminding power. He said, you know what, my homeboy, okay, Nike, you got me this 90 million contract. Cool. Give my homeboy an internship at Nike. Yo, Maverick, learn their marketing secrets. Cause one day we gonna run our own marketing company. Put Maverick Carter there. Couple years into the league, he said, you know what, bye marketing company. We're gonna set up our own marketing company. Maverick Carter has set up, he put him on the track to become a billionaire. And it's been a multi-millionaire, getting equity in soccer teams, getting equity instead of just endorsements with the McDonald's. He's got an equity in Blaze Pizza of 17%. So his kids will still be getting paid off that. Then he said, you know what, Rich Paul, man, I see you making moves. You the dice game dude. You selling throwback jerseys. Yo, be on my team. Yo, shadow my agent in sports. But yo, Rich, learn the game so we can start our own agency. Couple years later, it's time. Rich started off that agency, Clutch Agency. Now it's one of the top sports agencies in the world. This is LeBron's mastermind enterprising. This dude is bigger than the big 6'9" dude that's yamming and still, most points scored. This dude set it up for everybody. He set up the greatest play, including getting his son in the NBA. That dude.
That was that was a clutch. To me, that was the icing on the cake. When you could put your son in that position in real time. We're not talking about you gonna get it after I leave. No, you're gonna get it while I'm here, so people could say they've never seen this done. And I applaud them because we've seen athletes, children come into the league, but well after they've left the game, and we
Mhm.
can appreciate the fact that Steph Curry, the son of Del Curry, we can appreciate all the other ones that came after. But Steph and Dell didn't get to play together,
Mhm.
right? This to me was the ultimate. Um, there might be another level to this though, bro. There might be Titan. I don't know I don't know how you could fit that in there, but that's Titan level when I think you surpass all four. Um, I, the book is genius.
That's the
Now,
kingpin too. When you do all four,
Kingpin.
kingpin, Titan, queen pin. Yep.
I love that. For those who are reading this, what is the key piece if you had to choose one, the key takeaway that you got to get this book, and this is the reason why.
The driving theme is your greatest savior is your inner savage transforming in the dark. While you waiting on the Messiah waiting on you.
Mm,
That higher power has got to come through you. And it's a dark side to that. It normally starts with a really big challenge, a really big problem. But to embrace with that, and there's a great book that I credit. Um, it is Ryan Holiday is the author. The obstacle is the way. So, like I said, we all got one problem. We want something, something's in the way. And sometimes that is the biggest limitation in our life. We like, man, I can't get this business off the ground. Man, I can't get over this medical diagnosis. Man, I can't, find a fulfilling relationship. Man, I can't get my kids to a space where I want them to be successful. And that's what we signed up for this journey called life for. And you got to dig into your inner savage and understand that the obstacle is the way. And I'll just share this analogy. I call it the rubber band effect. And It's a rubber band. I used to pop rubber bands. Me and my friends popping them. My sisters had rubber bands. I bring them to school. Popping them people, all of that. And the further you pull it back, the harder it hits. That's life. So the rubber band effect that I share in this book, the further you pull back, the harder I snap back. So if life is pulling you back, oh, I got laid off. Oh, they rolling back DEI. I don't have a position that I thought I was going to have, or opportunities or sponsorships for my business. Oh, uh, my kids are acting up, and they're being threatened to going down the wrong way in the streets. Oh, the doctor said this that's about to change my whole life. Oh, heartbroken in whatever way in life. Let life pull you all the way back. And you can't break down what can't be broken. So when you don't break, which means you don't quit, at some point, the law of motion has to come into play. And this rubber band has to be the thing that's pulling you back has to let go. And when it lets go, the farther you go, the faster you get there, and the harder you hit upon impact. So embrace life pulling you back. Damn, these bills. Damn, you know, this competitive situation, my business isn't growing the way I thought it was. Damn, I didn't get the promotion. Damn, we got issues in our family. And I'm probably not trying to go to the family reunion or, celebrate or do whatever. Damn, whatever that is, embrace it and overcome by tapping into your greater self. And that, the book just talks about a lot of the mindset. My parents taught me you can do anything you put your mind to. And I love that. And what I found in life, you can, but you got to combine, you can do anything you put your mind and your grind to. So with that mindset, it's got to be a grind set. And that can lead to success because that means I'm never going to let up.
I love
And
that. So let me take a turn here, right? Because this is for those. How do I say this? This could be a value to the person who's getting it out the mud, the person who's been in darkness, right?
mhm,
Or what is the value to the person like a Bronny, right? Or those who've been financially in a space where things have come easy, right? There's no darkness for them. Where do they find themselves in terms of the archetype, those perspectives? Because they've never seen darkness. They don't know darkness, right? Their journey has come with money, power, influence, respect, and now they want to start a business. But they got the money, they got the support, but they're not getting out the mud. They don't know darkness. What is the value add for that individual who's like, I don't think I really need to read that book because, mom and pops got money. I've been around money until they find out no one's going to do it for you. The mindset might be
right.
there, but the grind set ain't there. What's the value add?
Man, that's a great question. I think one of the most powerful things, and so let's keep a Bronny James in mind because I love his story. I want that brother to win. I can't believe it's dudes out here, including fathers, that are like, yeah, that ain't gonna work. Yeah, you see, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. I'm like, how could you root against a son? How could you root against another young black man? Black man? Like, wow. So I debate all the time regarding like he's going to be a success. So for someone like him, the importance is we all have to, regardless of how we come in life, if we got advantages, privileges or not, at some point you're going to get hit. And you have to then you find out who are you. So I think he's young. Normally during this time in life, he's around 19, 20 or so, you're discovering who you are. So he has been LeBron James's son all of his life.
Hmm. Right.
Now he's gonna have to tap into his inner savage and discover who are you? Who are you? And that is a journey only he can go down. It's going to be a dark journey. He's finding that out. But man, he's going to find something so great, that's so once and forever, that has nothing to do with LeBron James. He will have his greatness and DNA and all that, but it's something special, man, that God put him on this earth for. And I think a Savage Matrix journey allows him to see, okay, here's the lane towards the money that allows me to show up in a greater way to be able to create something that the world has not seen. Or he may tap into, um he's already in a status mode, but what type of it factor do you bring to the table, to show up where people are able to see you, and now they relate to you more than they relate to LeBron James and Michael Jordan, because of your story and because of how you show up and show out in that special way that only you can. Or where does he assert his position of power and control, uh and being able to be a leader despite not being pegged as the ultimate chosen one, even though the irony is you're the son of the one who was. So how do you assert yourself and gain agency in this world? But everyone normally has to tap into, we talked about it earlier, that pit bull. And that there is, I won't ever give up. I won't ever quit on this. And that's digging into that mud. That's that dog mentality. That's him learning how to be fearless. So it's like, man, y'all can say anything y'all want to me. I'm good. You done dissed me. You done dissed my family. You done squatted all over me. I'm actually cool. I actually want all smoke. I will duck no fade. And that means I'm willing to embrace and not give certain commandments in this book, but one of them for the pit bull, I'm willing to take the worst case scenario to
Mm.
chase my dream and discover who I am. I'm willing to be a bust. I'm not saying I'm gonna be that. I don't claim that. But if that were to happen, cool. I'm still gonna choose this route and do me. I'm willing to be talked about and to be compared to my dad and be the complete opposite. I'm willing for people to say, I want all of that. Because after you can deal with all of that, then man, there's no more fear. And there's no more mindset of failure. Because there's no failure. There's no loss. Bro, you won as soon as you was born. And not just because you LeBron James' son. You won because, man, it's a 1 in 400 trillion chance of being a human being. And you get a chance that's for everybody. Every single person. And with that particular power that you have, man, you have the greatest journey to discover, man, the grandest version of your greatest vision with no limits. And this is the journey. And as Nelson Mandela said, there is no loss. You either win or you learn. And June, I found that most times you don't do it at the same time. It's like withdrawing or deposit.
Right.
I'm putting the money in, I'm spending the money. You winning, and that feels cool, but your greatest learns. That's why the obstacle is the way. This is awesome for Bronny. It's like, hell yeah. Don't nobody think I'm gonna make it. People think I'm gonna be stuck in the G League and get bounced down. Now, like, cool. After no fear, and all there is work and mindset and grind set, let's
Get back
get
to
it.
business. Yeah, gotta get back to business. Man, I love it. Um, I love the book. I love the concept. For those who are watching and listening, please make sure you grab it and make sure when you have the opportunity to take the Savage Matrix test. I had the opportunity of doing that one on one with the author himself, and I want to end on that. Talk about the test as it relates to um, me, because you use me as a test, and I enjoyed the questions. I think they allow you to think, they allow you to dig deep, and the results were I was a pit bull. I was a pit bull, and
Yeah.
I look forward to getting the whole thing to read through what those characteristics are, to learn more about who I am and why I think the way I think. And I think that this book is going to allow people to dive into who they are. Like you said, who are you?
Mhm.
This allows you to be who you are. Even if you look at some of the people who are doing what it is that you want. For me, people ask me, so what inspires you? What inspires me is the people who embody all of these traits. 50 Cent, Oprah Winfrey, Jay-Z, Kevin Hart. Like, these are the people that is my competition. When I say competition, I know I'm not competing with them, because they themselves are not competing with each other. They are competing with, how can I be the best version of myself? What am I doing next to further solidify who I am or what my brand represents? I look to them because I know that it's possible. And I want, in turn, for people to see what I'm accomplishing day in and day out, year by year, after this journey is done. Man, if June did it, if June was able to do this thing, man, I could do at least one of those things. Or I could do all those things. Or I could even do more. That is my journey. But I love the fact that I learned today that I'm a pit bull.
You are, and there's even a deeper revelation to you, June. So salute, and you embody a pit bull. There's a quote that 50 Cent says in the 50th Law, and he says, superheroes don't run from the fire, they run to it. Like, so that energy of getting at it and getting active, like that's a mindset that you embrace. So June, you took the test. It's on thesavagematrix.com. So I would invite everyone, take the test, take, probably like 3 minutes or so, and you'll find out which archetype you are. June took the test, and yours produced the pit bull. I have an affinity for the pit bull. My results are pit bull. I'm all about, man, results. Like, money, cool, power. Man, some people can play the game better than others. Status, yeah, it's always great to be fly with it, but man, them results and that pit bull. And some of those questions ask, one, the guiding question is, which one do you lean towards more, money, power, status, or results? And you had actually mentioned in that question, I think you had answered power. So, man, you answered different. Then it was, in terms of, well, what role do you play more so? Is it more of, is it conducting business, or is it more so controlling the room, or is it more so, uh, you know, um, captivating audiences, or is it, man, targeted mission, bullseye shot, let me, go and attack. And man, you answered it, but the ultimate game changing question for you when you were answering them, and it led to, I was like, man, he's because you got power. You can, the power game, obviously, working with 50, no pun intended, but surely those are power circles. You understand you've been the ultimate hustler. You have had, I first met you through your event, Hot Chocolate Soul. And man, not to tell our ages, I know you started it before I was there, but you've been going on, that was like 20 years ago, plus. You've been doing that for 30 years. That embodies actually all of them, because that's a hustler spirit of being that man once a month for 30 years is going to be the best showcase in Hartford, and expanding through all things that you do in New York as well. Like, man, that there, the positioning of being able to set up that type of leadership for a community that can rock with you for decades, that's another level. And then building other media platforms and all the other things that you do. But what you need most for that, and man, whether it is that Hot Chocolate Soul or it is the podcast, I tell this story with people all the time about how, man, June was one of the first people I knew years ago started a podcast. I'm like, man, this is dope. This is cool. I'm listening, I'm rocking. Then life catches up. And for years, I missed out and wasn't listening. I just almost forgot about it. And then I was like, man, I got an alert on my phone. It was like 50 Cent interview. I'm like, no, I got to jump on this. Everything 50 do. I learned so much from him. And man, it was on your podcast and you were interviewing. I was like, man, this June been doing this for over 10 years consistently. And I'm like, man, let me catch up. The one you did before him was Mary J. Blige, Raven Simone. That's a dog mentality. That is no days off. That is, man, I'm going to scrape the plate. I'm going to eat. A dog is never going to go hungry. Like, they going to always eat everything. So to have that mentality, man, you're a true pit bull, but you know what you are. And this is one of the evolutions that I share in the Savage Matrix. Most popular figures that we know, they've achieved a level of success where they're what I call a kingpin. You know, it's the same as a queen pin, but they've mastered all of those levels. June, you answer so many questions. It pivoted towards Pitbull, so that is your dominant archetype. But you showcase so much power in them answers. You showcase, man, the money, hustler, entrepreneurial, enterprise, and spirit, and also the hey, I can be the man. I was in a R&B group when 90s R&B was jumping. Yeah, I I was making moves there. So man, you're a superstar as well. And so you're actually, man, you're a kingpin. You're a king. I'm happy to know personally a kingpin, everybody watching the content that you receive from June. And I tell you this straight up, someone who is studied and designed in Savage Matrix, I bounced around with some man. I think June is a hustler because he's got so many enterprise and activities. Then I was like, wait, June understand his power game. He's getting in some rooms. He has met some of the greats and had conversations that have leveraged opportunities and has a following behind him. Man, he's in the pimp category. Then I'm like, man, he's got this. You showed me, a picture, man. You were, a host for a reality show that, you'll be talking to, I'm sure, with your audience at some point. But I'm like, bro, you the star? You the one in the middle with the fly, man, Dobson and man, the suit man that is tailored by the finest, probably internationally somewhere, man, by somebody in Zimbabwe. But man, I'm like, he's all of these things. So that's dope. And everybody, you can find out which savage you are. Go to thesavagematrix.com. And right after you take that test to get more, cop the book. It's on Amazon, and you got a link there too.
No, Brother Womack, I appreciate you. I love you. This has
Man,
been
love as well,
an
man.
amazing interview. Please look him up, follow him, like him, share this interview with someone that you know is trying to get it out the mud, someone who's been going through something. They might have been going through it since the pandemic and they're still trying to find their footing. Help them with the Savage Matrix. Take the test yourself. See where you are. See how you fare. And from there, let's all get out of mud and let's try to make and create things that are going to change people's lives forever. That is Marcellus Womack, aka to me, Supercell. I'm your host, June Archer. This is the Winner Circle. Like it, love it, share it. And as I always like to end, make sure you tell somebody you love them. It may be the last time you have the opportunity to do so. Brother Womack.
Who I want to show love for, June, man? You shout out some brotherly love. Man, I wouldn't have met you hadn't been for man, big bro Delroy Thomas.
Absolutely.
So
I
one
treat
time for
brothers well.
Dale Anthony, man. Man, special brother. He helped get my start into the corporate world. And he took a young brother and showed me a lot of things. And he's a savage as well. I think he probably in
Absolutely.
that he might be a pit bull between the pit bull and the hustler. He's somewhere in there. But no, I appreciate you, June. And yeah, Savage Matrix. Go
Ladies
find
and
your inner
gentlemen, make sure you
savage.
get it. Amazon, wherever you get your books, you're going to download it, take the test. Once again, Marcellus Womack, author of The Savage Matrix. I'm your host, June Archer. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like it, love it, share it. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Peace.